today's video, we're going to talk about 5 common mistakes to avoid when playing a blues solo. Hi, my name is David. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the instrument. Today, we're working in the key of G blues. You can get the backing track that I already used, the one you're hearing right now, and the charts for free. The link is below. Check it out, sign up once, you'll get access to the downloads for this video and many other videos on the channel. Sign up once and get all of that. Okay, the 5 things we're going to talk about today should be avoided. And if they are avoided, you're going to sound a lot better. Let's do this. The first mistake you should avoid is starting too strong. What do we mean by that? Well, I mean starting with too much velocity. The strength of the attack is just too strong. And when you attack a note really strongly, you can't go anywhere from there but a little bit lower. And you want to start within range. You want to start in the middle range so that you can go louder and softer. But I don't just mean in velocity, not just the volume of notes, but also intensity of ideas. If you're starting too strong, well, you can only go the other direction. It's all about balance when you're playing the blues. It's all about anticipating what is coming next. It's all about building momentum in the story that you want to tell. So start quietly, which brings me to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 to avoid is not using enough silences. Silences oftentimes speak louder than what you do play. What does that mean? We've heard it before. Well, it means this. If I'm telling you a story and I have 0 silences at all, once upon a time in the forest, there were 2 little bears who were walking down the path and they were really, really hungry. Then they saw berries, but far away in the distance, there was a shed. And in that shed lived a giraffe. And in that, what? That's really difficult for you to paint what's going on. Musically, the same thing happens. Here's an example. I'm going to play a simple idea. This is part of my story. You're digesting that right now, right? Now I can feed you a little bit more. If I played all these notes in succession, you would not have time to appreciate and understand the language that I'm trying to use to communicate my story. So silences are very, very important. Mistake number 3 is that your playing might be a little too perfect. Blues is not a perfect musical style, not only in the theory of the blues, you know, the clash between the minor third and the major third. That's something that the classical giants, Beethoven, would be, oh my gosh, what is going on? It's imperfection that has been accepted after hearing it enough. It's just a raw form of music. So don't approach it with that mindset of perfection that you should have when you're actually practicing on your own. Blues is something organic, something that you should feel, which means that it's okay sometimes to have imperfections. Maybe you're hitting a note wrong, or maybe you're kind of like slipping a little bit. That's fine. That creates some really interesting phrases sometimes. See, I'm not very precise there. I'm imperfect in my rhythm too. Very imperfect, right? But it sounds cool. That's what the blues is. So don't be too perfect. Mistake number 4 that you should avoid is not developing your ideas enough. And that's something we're all kind of guilty of because we spend a lot of time on our instrument. We work hard on it, practicing, and we want to communicate things that we spend a long time learning how to communicate. We want to play that lick that we spend hours working on. And unfortunately, the listener doesn't really care about it, or at least is not quite ready for it yet. And that's what development is. Now, development is one of those subjects that is kind of difficult to teach because it's something that should be experienced and developed on your own. So how do you do that? Well, you take a simple phrase, simple idea, you use a backing track, the one that's provided in this lesson is a great one, in G, and start with a simple sentence, simple lick. Now play it again a little bit differently. Maybe you stay on a note a little bit longer. Or maybe you say it with a stutter. Or maybe you say it in a way that you're really, really excited. Or a little bit shy. All those different things that you bring to the table when you improvise are great tools to learn how to develop. It's almost as if you're an actor over a backing track and you're just basically acting out different aspects, different facets of your personality. And it's a great way to start developing ideas on the instrument and learning what development means for you. It's something very personal that you need to practice to make sure that you develop your ideas. And finally, the fifth mistake that you should avoid is not targeting chord tones. Now, this is a fancier way of saying that you shouldn't just stick to the minor pentatonic scale. Yes, it sounds really cool, but if you can inject every once in a while some notes that are found in the chords of the blues, that's really going to bring your improvisations to the next level. How do you do that? Well, you do that by simply being aware of what chord you're playing over. In this case, we're in blues in G. We have 3 chords. We have a G7, a C7, and a D7. Now, we know that we can use the minor pentatonic scale throughout these different chords. It's going to work. That's fine, but every once in a while, what you can do is use one of the notes of the chord that is not found in the minor pentatonic scale, as long as you're playing that note when the chord you are targeting is being heard. So for example, we got G7 here. If we look at the notes of G7, frets 3, 5, 3, 4, 3, 3. Well, all these notes are within the minor pentatonic scale, except for the 3rd string, 4th fret. Target that note. So blend the minor pentatonic scale with that note that is in the chord. And then you could do the same thing with the C7 chord. You look at the notes of the C7, find one or more notes that are not in your minor pentatonic, and target that one. As long as you do it at the right time, it's going to sound awesome. Let's give that a try. Here's our first chord, G7. I'm going to start G minor pentatonic, and then target the chord. And then here's the C7, and then G7. Sounds a lot more expressive, right? Than just the minor pentatonic scale. Now that doesn't mean that you should forget the minor blues scale. No, this should be at the core of your vocabulary when you're playing over the blues. But every once in a while, target these notes. It's gonna bring your improv to level 2 or 5 or wherever you're at, one level above. I love this kind of thing. I hope you enjoyed these 5 tips to avoid, really. So they're anti-tips when you're playing the blues. You can grab this backing track and the charts for free. There's a link below that'll take you to a sign up page. Just sign up once. If you already signed up in a previous video to grab the downloads for previous videos, well, if you click on that button, it'll take you to the study page right away. It's a great way to study these lessons, and it's free, so check it out. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have new videos coming regularly on the channel, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss anything, and then check out that video. I think it'll help. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time.